Welcome back to BS with Brian Simpson. I'm back, just freshly back from Dallas. Really love the direction of the show. I love that we're getting so many more emails than we used to. And then don't forget, if you want me to answer your email, you need advice from the advice champ, you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email me at BSwithBrianSimpson@gmail.com. If you want to come see me on tour, go to BrianSimpsonComedy.com. If you want to follow me on socials, I'm BS Comedian on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm Brian Simpson Comedy on TikTok. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that. I got a don't tell thing that's kind of blowing up a little bit. Some would say viral. I don't know about viral, but I appreciate y'all, because I know the people that follow me on here, like the people that listen to my podcast, like those are the people I know for sure are fans. You know what I mean? Like some people just follow me on social media, but on social media, every follower is not a fan. Some people are just around because it's one thing they saw, or they saw a sketch or something. They're not around for stand-up, or they're not around, 'cause, you know what I mean? And so, but everybody listens to the pod. I know for sure that they fuck with me, and that's how you get that groundswell of like the real, your core fans are the ones that start the fucking the spiral, the viral thing rolling. You know what I mean? Because like they posted this video yesterday. I got a bit about slavery up there. They posted that shit Saturday, and it's at damn like 900,000 views or some shit. So that. Anyway, thank you is what I'm trying to say. And now a lot of other people are watching the WAP bit, which I took the time to post on my YouTube channel. So whatever. Thank y'all. So where am I upcoming? We rounded to the end of the tour this year. So this weekend, so you'll be seeing this weekend. I'm gonna be at the Looney Bin in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And then second week of December, I'm going to be at the Punchline in Philadelphia. And then the following week, I'm going to be at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, San Diego. And then cracking off the new year, I'm going to be at the Comedy Club in Kansas City, Missouri. And then the last week of January, one of my favorite clubs, the Houston Improv. The Houston Improv is one of the best clubs, low-key. People sleep on that. That's one of my favorite places to perform. All right, so look, them tickets on sale now. Go get them motherfuckers, and we're going to be slowly but surely adding shit, because there's more stuff coming down the line. I'm coming to Madison, Wisconsin in March. I'm headlining the Mothership, and that's following week, I think. Then I'm coming to Oregon, all of that. Also, there's stuff coming next year. I'm just throwing the ones out for this year. All right, let's get cracking. Let's get to the emails. Let's pick up where we left off last week, because we had some joints from last week that I didn't get to. This says, Advice Champ help. These are my favorite ones. Advice Champ. Hey, B, needed some help. I love my girl, and we've been together now for a few years. I can't help but notice she doesn't have a lot of chick friends. Okay, now that is usually a red flag, but I don't know shit. Let's see. Not always, but sometimes it kind of is. And struggles with connecting to the ladies that my buddies are with. Yeah, she might just be on the spectrum or something, man, because I don't fuck with people either. I have a hard time. I have a lot of friends. That's not true. There's a lot of people that care about me, but I don't get that close to people, and it's something I'm working on. But I isolate a lot, and she might just be one of those people. But let's just keep reading and stop jumping to conclusions. Okay, here we go. So she doesn't have a lot of lady friends, and she struggles to connect to the ladies friends of your buddies. Okay, if you were in my shoes, how might you get your girl to make friends? She's a little introverted and an artist, so I usually get a "I'm busy" response when I try to plan group things. It does bug me a little, but she never stops me from going out if I want to, and I love her dearly. I want her to have more friends, and I know she does too, but it is struggling to get there. Love the pod and the random cat appearances. Thanks, Steve. P.S. If you're randomly into spiders, I am not. She does make some of the coolest crystal spiders. Okay, I'm into spiders in that manner. Okay. On the market, and I'd be happy to hook you up with one of them. Check out Lunatique on Etsy if you're curious. All right, God, go flood her shit. Lunatique. I might go ahead and give me a little purchase, see what that's about. Hey, Google. Remind me to check out Lunatic on Etsy in an hour and a half.
I've set a reminder for you to check out Lunatic on Etsy in an hour and a half.
Okay, that's fair. That's close enough. Yeah, how do you get her to have more friends? I don't think that's something you can force, man. I think the best way to do it is just, she's not comfortable, and it's going to be a while until she's comfortable. She'll be in those kind of situations. Now, I do understand the burden of, like, when you showing up to stuff sometimes as a couple, and it's couple shit, and you always by yourself, how that can kind of wear on you a little bit. But that's something you just compromise with her, like, hey, babe, look, let's just gab. My advice would be give her a long lead away. Hey, babe, I know you don't like socializing with motherfuckers, so just, in 4 months, we doing this thing with my buddies, and I just need you to be there for that. Like, I need you to be with me. And maybe with that much time ahead, she can, she'll be able to just, gather her energy, because that I know that's what my problem is. If we planning some shit, I'm all about some planning some shit. But if you last minute obligation make my anxiety shoot through the fucking roof. I need as much time as possible before I have to be in a social interaction. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I came back from my buddy's wedding last episode, and I've known about that for at least a year, maybe a little less, and it was still a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm closer to that person than most people. And I really if I ain't fuck with my boy D like that, I wouldn't have gone. I hate weddings and I hate socializing. But that's what friendship is about. That's what love is about. It doesn't matter what you like to do. Sometimes you got to sacrifice for the people that you care about. Like if it's something that's important to them, you know what I'm saying? But it took me a while. It took me a while to realize that. Like, but she's not comfortable. That's all it is. And maybe you need to have discussions about exactly what is uncomfortable about it all to her. Maybe slowly do it. Maybe a little double date. Maybe ask her, well, which one of my friends do you like the most? Which one of my, and maybe it's just me, you, and them. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just us two and them two, or something like that. Maybe bring them to her space. Maybe, just something quick, just a quick lunch or a quick coffee or something like that. But you can't pressure her, because it's just adding to the anxiety, because the pressure is just making the situation bigger than what it is. Because the thing is, you got her. You know what I'm saying? So it is possible for her to get comfortable with somebody that she don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not something that's completely out of the cards, but it's not going to be able to happen on your terms. And again, I'm not a professional and I'm not a therapist, but that's what it seems like to me. You maybe ask ChatGPT, like double check what I'm saying with ChatGPT or like a therapist or something like that. But I think the best way to deal with people that are withdrawn in that way is to not put pressure on them I know my problem is severe ADHD, depression, them sorts of things, and obviously I can't diagnose your girl through a secondhand email. But if those are the type of problems she have, I know that my problem and people of my ilk, the ADHD people, is like we're not built for like consistent output. It comes in spurts. We built for sprints. We're not distance runners in terms of life. You know what I mean? And so the isolation, we isolate till we inspired. And then when the inspiration is there, we fucking create, go crazy until we create some shit. And then it's back to like all the energy's gone and the depression and the withdrawing comes back. And so you can't force it, is what I'm trying to say. That's why you need a lead up. Cause I need to make sure, I'm sleeping, I'm getting enough sleep so I can cause like that's just how artists are, man. like every artist has some kind of mental health thing, like that. And I don't even know. Like the more I think about it, the more I live with it. The thing is, I don't look at ADHD as a disability. I think my brain is just wired in a way that does not conform to the way our society is structured. Because if there was no, it's almost like people that work the night shift. They not on the same type of timing as everybody. You know what I'm saying? They got to do everything. Like all the stuff you would do at night, they got to do in the morning. You know what I mean? It's that kind of shit. Or it's like you're just living. You're in a different type of timing than society expects of the average person. And so it's not really her to need to adjust. It's you that need to adjust. You're not dating a person with a normal brain. You know what I mean? So it's just a puzzle you need to figure out what motivates her, what she gets excited about, what type of people that she fuck with. Because the truth is, she might not like your motherfucking friends. She might not like their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Or she might like the girlfriend and not like the friend, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's like, and she's is very particular, and I bet you that pretending is exhausting, because that's what socializing is. A lot of it is pretending until you're comfortable with a person. Socializing is pretending, and it's exhausting for me. So and all I can do is project, but we'll see. All right, give us an update. Let us know how it turns out. But I think I answered your question, right? Oh, okay. Next one. Hey, Brian, big fan of your comedy and pod. I'm working on a project called Yolt, which creates beautiful clips from podcasts using AI. Pass. Quick question. I've been divorced for a few years after being married for 10. Okay. I recently realized that my ex is the only woman I've ever told I love you to. Oh, romantically. Okay. Every relationship I get in, all in the same. The woman ends up more invested than I am. My question is, do you think you've ever blown up a relationship you should have stayed in? I'm never getting back with my ex, but I don't know if I'm jaded from that relationship and it's hurting potential new ones. It's hard for me to answer that question because my most recent relationship, I go back and forth on whether I should have stayed in it, But I guess that's not really your question. My question is, do you think that is your question. Yeah, I mean, regret is, when it comes to love and shit like that, I think regret is normal, because for whatever reason, like I said, even though I've never had what I would consider a successful or fully healthy relationship. A lot of my friends come to me, a lot of people come to me about their relationships. And I think it's just because they know I'm going to be honest with them. Not necessarily that I know what I'm talking about, I can't really tell you how to work it out. I just know what I know, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not a fucking image consultant or a relationship guru or none of that shit. But I think I understand people pretty well. And, it just like with the last email, I operate off this. The number one mover of people is incentive. That's just a fact. That's a scientific fact. The number one motivator is incentive. What's in it for me? Now, most people aren't going to outright tell you that because it sounds selfish. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't make them look right, but that's the truth. If you tell people what's in it for them, they're more likely to do what you're asking. If there's nothing in it for them, or there's something in it for them and you don't mention what it is, it's usually falling on deaf ears. But I'm not sure what, if you're just asking about me, do I think it might be hurting your potential relationships? Oh, well, of course it is. Because you don't mention why you're jaded from the last relationship. You just say that, or you're saying every relationship you get in since then, the woman ends up more invested than you are. Yeah, but you don't tell me why you're jaded about the last relationship. But if I'm gonna have to fill in your information with a few assumptions. But it sounds like you are making the mistake that a lot of us make, and you're afraid of being hurt, and so you are gravitating towards people that you know you don't really give a fuck about. Like you're gravitating towards people that don't require you to be emotionally invested. You know, because there's no way every woman you meet is more in love with you than you are with them. You just not paying attention to the ones that you in love with, because that's probably what you were in your last marriage, and maybe you feel fucked over, or you feel like, you know, yeah, that's bitterness, that's baggage. You know, you're like, never again will I allow anyone to hurt me, and it's like, yeah, you're carrying that into your relationship. That's normal. You know, it's something you need to work on. You know, I don't believe in love and scared. I'm very, you know, love, like approach love cautiously, but once you got it in your hands, you got to go all in. You know, you can't be out here pussyfooting around on the love tip, especially like the older you get. You know, it's wasting your time, it's wasting their time. You know, if you're not feeling it, get up out of there. You know, if what they're looking for is long term, like I think you have to date with intention. You know what I'm saying? And if for whatever reason, you know, no, I guess the other question I would have for you is, why does it bother you if the woman is more in love with you than you are with her? I feel like that's ideal. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I feel like that's what one would want. I mean, just a little though. I'm not saying like she's in love and you're like indifferent. But I'm saying like if I had my druthers, like she'd just be a little more in love with me than I am with her. You know, because I need a lot of forgiveness. You know, because I'm not, like I said, I don't move. You know, in my potential relationships, I need the room to operate very selfishly in those spurts where I'm being creative. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, like I'm built for sprints. You know, and then when I'm not sprinting, I'm fucking exhausted, and then I need that time to be recharged and sprint. You know, and it's not just comedians, you know, because I know I have other friends that are other types of artists that always have the same type of relationship problems. You know, if you're not dating another artist, then you know it's hard for them to accept that you won't drop the art to make them a priority, no matter how much they need it. You know, because in the back of their mind, your art is just a hobby. Like, it's not like I'm not saying they don't respect what you do, even if you're doing it for money. In the back of their mind, they don't understand it as something that you need to do, right? Like you know, it's like. If you were like, oh, holy shit, babe, I'm about to shit my pants, and ran to the bathroom, your significant other wouldn't be like, he just shitted over talking to me. You know, they wouldn't take it as an insult that you stopped and went and didn't shit your, right? But if you tell them, hey, babe, I gotta go paint. I gotta play the piano right now. I gotta get this recorded. To them, that it doesn't register as something that's a need, that it needs to be done, right? And sometimes I think that's people that either they haven't dated an artist or they don't understand how creative people or maybe it's just that maybe they're right and we're wrong. Maybe I do need to be able to be like, that's not important, but it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's just like eventually, like, yeah, you can hold the shit in, but eventually, you know, it's something gonna have to give. You know, and I think if you're dealing with somebody that's some type of artist and they are creatively constipated, you're not getting the best version of them anyway. You gotta let them, go out. You know, it's like, and I don't think that's just art, but I think that's just people understanding who they're with. You know what I'm saying? like a bad spouse will fight with you and a good spouse will recognize like, oh, this motherfucker, he ain't played basketball with the boys in a while. Hey, babe, go play basketball. Go get out the house and go to the court. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know your husband's ball is life, then make that nigga go play basketball. Some comics, they're dating good women, and that woman's like, hey, babe, you haven't done a spot this week. Go do some spots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not being yourself. Go do comedy. I feel like that kind of walked around the block. But yeah, this email doesn't have enough information for me to give like a real pointed answer. But I think I answered your question. Oh hell yeah, you're back, bro. I have not lost the ability to make me laugh. Oh, okay. This is from Tony Rouse. This guy used to always. So you can send me a voice note in an email. By the way, I don't know if y'all know this, and I have no idea what this says. And let's just hope it's not.
Brian, mate, super excited to have you back. Saw you had some new shows, snuck into the toilet so I could listen to them in peace. Till the old lady bust down the door, thought she's going to catch me watching some midget porn or something. Fuck, she was disappointed when she found out I was just listening to you instead. Anyway, I reckon you should have that guy from episode 140, the random dude that wanted to be interviewed. Fucking do it, bro. It'd be awesome to hear some different random voices on the podcast. Anyway, keep up the good work, and still looking forward to you coming to New Zealand.
All right, did everybody understand that? It was just an old fan, Tony Rouse. He's looking forward to becoming New Zealand. He thinks the guy from the last episode that we said we were interview, he thinks I should, which we will. What's going on, Brian? My name's... Hold on, let me make sure you want me to say your name. Okay, what is up, Brian? My name's Dre, and I got a fun question for you. If you had to take away all the nukes a country has and give it to another country, taking into account everything about the country from stability, temperament, morals, etc., who gets the button? I'm not sure what you actually mean. Are you saying take away a nuke from a country that has nukes and give them to a country that doesn't? Or I can take nukes from any country and give them to any other country? Because that's a different thing. Right? I think I probably take nukes from North Korea and give them to Brazil. No, I don't really. I guess because in all actuality, I don't know if anyone should have nukes. So it would be tough to be like, who would I give them to? Probably just me. You know what I mean? Like, go purchase Epstein's Island. It's cheap. And then use my newly acquired nukes to get recognized by the UN. And then threaten everyone that has nukes to give me all the nukes, or I'm going to set off some nukes. Call that the nuclear option. Okay, this one. Hey, Brian, love the show. I wanted to ask, how would you advise someone in their early to mid-30s who is trying to put themselves back into the dating market after several years of being in the lone wolf phase of life? Well, nigga, when you find out, let me know. After improving yourself substantially by getting extremely fit. Okay, so now we're not talking about me no more. Working towards becoming an attorney and even getting yourself published as an author. How does someone who has been able to accomplish major things, but at the extreme cost of intense isolation for an extended period of time, re-enter the dating world in 2025? Is this something you see that happens often with people who have achieved high levels of success? Additionally, is it a common phenomenon to see people who have achieved substantial amounts of success, but at the cost of being socially awkward? How would you advise acclimating to a more normalized socialization for the purpose of dating in 2025? Man, you just got to jump out there, bro. I mean, if you're saying, because here's the thing, if you are extremely fit, that's the key part right there. If you sacrificed all that shit for success and you sexy, you're not gonna have a hard time at all. Just get on these apps, nigga. Get on the app. That's what dating is in 2025. Go get on the app. Go walk out the house. You know, because I'm not sure what you've actually sacrificed, or if you've always been the socially, inept guy, because there's two kinds of isolationists. You know what I'm saying? And if you isolating in a way where you've always been sheltered and you don't know how to feel when somebody feeling you, because that's the thing. If you're substantially, what you said was extremely fit and successful, somebody feeling you somewhere. You just walking past them every motherfucking day, and you're not picking up on the little things, the little extra smiles, the extra long stare, the little stuff that I think as a man you gotta be able to pick up on, because most of the time women aren't gonna just straight up approach you, even though some will do that. I mean, not in America usually, unless you gotta be in certain parts of the South, because women down there, like you go to Georgia, a lot of those women, if they feeling you, they gonna say something. Georgia, Tennessee, them type of places, like the East Coast South. I guess that's really the only South. But I'm saying is and I'm not sure what other countries it is, but I know here, you need to be able to tell when somebody feeling you, and you usually can. They're not hiding it. They're just not being overt, But yeah, you gotta jump out there or get on those apps. I was just having a conversation yesterday with a friend of mine, because I'm always meeting fucking crazy people. And she was like, "Yo, just get on the app for a week," And I was like, "All right, fine." That's just what it is. It's the reality of it. It's just it's no different than I hear, how I listen to comics complain about social media and then it became the point where it's like, hey, nigga, you got to do that shit. Oh, everyone has a podcast. Yeah, you got to have one. You should have one. That's just what the world is now. You know what I mean? You don't have to have one, but you can't complain if you're not getting the results of the people that do. That's really what it is. So yeah, you don't have to get on the apps, but then shut the fuck up then about being by yourself. And don't get me wrong, I still think it's better to meet people in person, because the apps isn't really meeting people. It's just scheduling you to meet people. Right? There's still, there's a big, giant, huge difference than setting up a date on an app than setting up a date with somebody that you just saw at the store or just saw out and about. Because when you get a date from just seeing somebody, it's already a bunch of questions answered. I'm already feeling you, you already feeling me. I know what you smell like, I know what your vibe is. I could see your whole shape and all of that. The intangibles are already out the way. When you meet somebody on the app, a lot, you don't really know who you meeting. You're rolling the dice and hoping that they're whatever. Everything's doctored and manufactured and filtered and, focus grouped and ran through ChatGPT. And so you're meeting, you basically hiring somebody from their resume. But you still got to interview them. Whereas if you meet somebody on the street, that is the interview. Right? I guess that's not a good analogy. That's not a great analogy, because the date is really the interview. Maybe the date's the second interview. But my point is, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, get out there, man. If you got a 6-pack and a 6-figure salary, you're gonna be swimming in pussy as soon as you just want to. That's not even hard. Hey, Brian, I appreciate you getting to my letter. Great advice. Wish I heard it a week sooner. Oh, shit. Here we go. So this is a follow-up email. I really assumed you tell me to break up with her, but you said marry her. Oh, this was the guy. Okay, so let me read his first email first. Just so everybody ain't got to go back to the, okay. Hey, Brian, first time, long time. I seen last week you didn't have any questions, so I thought I'd like to see your thoughts on this. I'm still going to do whatever I want, though. LOL, right? Now he's saying he wish he had listened to me. Okay. So I've been dating this girl for about 2 years now. She's the first woman I've lived with, and she does her best to keep me on a short leash. All of my other relationships have ended due to infidelity, and she knows that. But I really love her, and my family loves her, and I feel like she's going to be the one I settle down with. I come from a family of married people. I'm a black man in his mid-30s, and I'm fairly successful, and I own my own electrical contracting business, and I did pretty well with the ladies. Before we got together, I was dating 3 other women, and I had to cut them all off when she moved in and made things official. So now she's been asking what my ideal relationship is like, and I want threesomes or any open relationship on my end or a throuple. Her preference would be if we did stuff when we are on trips, so she doesn't have to worry about me being with them back home. Okay, so we don't got to go through the whole thing. Basically, his girl know she married a player, right? Somebody with a lot of gravity, if you will. They got a lot of pull. And so she, instead of reacting like most people would and trying to put a fucking lasso on him and lock away the key and monitor his location and all of this, she's like, hey, we can fuck other people, but I prefer it to be like this. And for me to know about it and for us to do it in these circumstances. And this nigga is like, but if you know about it, it don't do it for me. Like, if I got to tell you about it, then it's not sexy to me. I'm like, nigga, if you don't marry that girl, you crazy. This is not a one-on-one. Maybe she's a one-on-one, but I'm saying it's very rare for somebody to be okay with you fucking other people and being your wife, And all she's saying is, don't lie to me. But he's like, but the lie is what makes my dick hard. Right? Okay, so I told him you should marry this girl, 'cause she's, you're not gonna get this offer again, not from somebody that you like and all your friends like and all your family like. And think about that. For you to be this compatible with somebody, it's just not gonna happen again. Whatever. So now let's read his follow-up email. Hey Brian, I appreciate you getting my letter. Great advice. Wish I had heard it a week sooner. I really assumed you tell me to break up with her, but you said marry her. Well, that option might be gone now. This girl I used to talk to was sending me very enticing messages. It was her birthday coming up, and I folded to the lust demon. I thought it would be good because she was already in a relationship with another woman. Okay. Her girlfriend went through her phone and made her mission to track down my girl to ruin my relationship, and it worked. It's killing to watch the love and admiration leave my woman's eyes, and she says the worst part is she didn't hear from me. She won't even let me touch her now. I'm on day 3 right now, and I don't know what to do. If I have tainted this relationship forever, I might as well move on. But she's the first girl I've been with that I care to try to work it out and eat shit to fix it. Advice, thoughts, prayers. I'll take anything I can get at this point. Can't wait to hear your response. Thanks again. No, nigga, see, and I've forgiven this. I've said this before to some people. It's like, you fucked it up. It's like, what? I mean, think about it. Within the time you sent me that, within a week or 2 week period, you went from, oh, it's my way or the highway to what have I done? You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone in your life was telling you what you had on your hands. It's like you don't get to just undo it now because now you're hurting because you think you might not have her now. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to fix betrayal. Right? Because all you had to do was tell her, that's what she gave you that. I mean, can you imagine if you were like, baby, fuck whoever you want, but you just don't lie to me, and then they lie to you? How can you? This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not here to browbeat you, bro. I'm trying not to be judgmental, but it's like, how do you repair trust when you literally gave that person where all they needed was the bare minimum of honesty? Just inform me. Not don't do it. Not if you do it, it's gonna be consequences. She was like, how you want to do it? So it's like if you give somebody, because I don't know how you convince her to trust you after that, right? Because you didn't appreciate that woman until until she wasn't attracted to you no more. And she only lost attraction because you lied to her about something that you didn't have to lie about. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think what you honestly need to do is stop making it about you for a second, because that's your fucking problem. You're selfish. You're self-centered. Stop making it about you for a second and really think about how you made her feel and why. And that's what needs to be included in the apology. Not just, I'm sorry, baby, not just, I want you back, but I understand completely how I hurt you, and this is what I'm doing to make sure that I never hurt you again. You know what I'm saying? You got to just bare your fucking soul, bro. Like, I didn't appreciate you until I thought I could lose you, and now I'm doing some soul searching, and I realize, you gotta bare your motherfucking soul and hope for the best. But she don't owe you forgiveness, bro. You might have to deal with the fact that you lost one. You know what I'm saying? And you might have created an animal out. Now she might be out here breaking hearts, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Thanks. Now she ain't gonna offer that to no other niggas after you. But I hope it works out. I hope that answers your question. All right. Hi, Brian. It's great to have you back on the podcast. You've really been missed. I'm in a bit of a conundrum because I ended up sleeping with my best friend's mistress. Your best friend? I'm just doing some calculations. Okay, so your best friend got a side chick and you ended up fucking her? Okay. I guess that's morally, are you in the mafia?
Yeah.
Because I think that's, okay, we'll see. Here's the background. I've known this friend since college. We are extremely close, around 18 years of friendship. Early on, he married one of his cousins, which is common in this part of the world. What part of the world you in? Hold on, let me look at your name. Okay, you don't have a real name there. Okay, in this part of the world, it's common to marry a cousin? Okay. They had kids and seemed settled, but about 3 years ago, he met a divorced woman and they started a passionate affair. Occasionally, they would visit my city and he introduced us because he told her so much about me. I knew how much he loved her, so I never crossed any lines. Late August, we planned a guy's trip abroad. The plan included partying and hookers. She insisted on joining, which made me and the other friends uncomfortable, but she kept saying she was open-minded, didn't care who slept with who, and that she was just there for fun. During the trip, she started showing obvious interest in me, holding my hand, touching my back, being flirtatious. I avoided letting him notice, and nothing happened. A couple months later, the three of us planned to meet in Dubai for a concert. Hold on, what the fuck, y'all niggas, hold on, what is this? What is this? Y'all are in some kind of mafia, huh? Y'all are like, y'all niggas from Belarus or something, y'all. Because for you to go from, what'd you say, Ireland? To you plan to meet up in Dubai. Okay. On the day of the event, my friend they plan to meet up in Dubai for a concert. On the day of the event, my friend suddenly bailed with some excuses, so it ended up just me and her. Buddy, you can't be in them situations. She came to my hotel room. Okay, that's mistake number 2. And I tried to keep my distance. No, you didn't. Your distance would have been, no, bitch, you can't come to my hotel room. That's distance. That's the most distance possible. You can't be in my room. Yeah. That was your opportunity to keep distance. You can't be like, that's like being like, yo, my best friend's wife, I let her sleep in my bed, but we built a pillow fort between us. No, bitch, get out my bed. If I want to keep distance, you know what I'm saying? Be at a separate hotel. Don't come on the trip. You had a bunch of chances to keep distance now. Okay. We went to the concert, had a great time, and when we got back to the hotel, we ended up banging until sunrise. Okay, so now you're in it. So you let her stay in your room. You went to the concert. I'm probably sure y'all got high, did drugs or whatever you don't get life in prison for in Dubai, and ended up fucking till the sun came up. Okay, so there you're in love. Okay. The next morning, she rushed to leave and kept repeating that my friend could never know. But she a side chick, right? Or does she not know that? I agreed to stay quiet. I mean, boy, see, this right here, Bro, this bitch is scandalous, bro. You scandalous. A few minutes after she left, she texted asking me to film the hotel room to show there were 2 separate beds because he was calling furious that she stayed in my room. Now, see, why would she tell him that? Bro, you dealing with, I don't know what the word is for these type of women, but they're agents of chaos. You understand? Okay, I'm making a lot of assumptions about this woman, but I've met motherfuckers like this before. Her intention is to fuck your whole friend circle up in a way where she don't feel like it was her fault, right? But think about that. Why would she come to the concert, do drugs with you or liquor or whatever, come back to your hotel? Why would she agree to stay in your room in the first place, first of all, right? And then and like do all that shit to hide it and then mention to him that she was in your room? Think about that, my nigga. At least put, it's like there's so many other things she could have done besides that. She wants this chaos to happen. Because I guarantee you, when you talk to her about it, she's going to be like, I didn't mean for him to, what are you crazy? Are you crazy? So both of y'all slipping. And listen, I know, listeners, I'm not addressing the actual fact that he's betrayed his best friend. He's betraying his best friend who's also betraying his wife, who's also his cousin. That's a whole other thing. We're not here to pass judgment on people's kinks or whatever. I'm looking at this the same way when you watch a true crime documentary, you be mad when the killer don't wear gloves, right? Where it's like, I know he's out there serial killing, but just from a logistics standpoint, he's going about it the wrong way. Right? He's being illogical. That's the stuff that irritates me. It's like, if you're going to cheat, if you're going to be a scumbag, I still need you to be, diligent about, like, this is crazy. But I'm telling you right now, you got to stop fucking with this bitch 1,000%. Cut her the fuck off, because she's going to do this again. She came into your life to blow your fucking shit up, bro. I'm telling you right now. There's no reason she should have told your boy that she stayed in your hotel room unless she wanted this to happen. I'm just telling you. Here we go. After that, I kept my distance. They live in different cities and only see each other occasionally, but they talk constantly. They had plans to meet on October 27th in another city, but he bailed again with more excuses. She was frustrated and texted me saying she'd come to my city for the weekend and that it would be nice to hang out. Absolutely not. She arrived, we got a hotel. My nigga, are you trying to die? Are you suicidal? This girl has already told you, bro, she reckless. She reckless with her pussy and your safety. She reckless with information, her pussy, and your safety. You gonna meet up with her again. Okay, let's see. I bet you we haven't got to the end of the email, but I bet you the boy finds out. Let's see. And it happened again. Of course it happened again. Y'all had sex again till the sun came up. She stayed the night. We spent the next day together, and then she drove to his city and spent a day with him before returning to where she works. Now, my nigga, listen to me. Do we not know the type? I mean, maybe y'all deserve this bitch. Because y'all are not, again, you said fucking your cousins is normal where you from, right? Maybe having a mistress is normal where you from. Probably not, right? But you don't get to be a scumbag and a good guy. You're not good at being a scumbag. You might as well just stop being friends with him. Because this woman is gonna get that man to kill you. To hop out of your bed, right? And before the pussy even dry, be in the next city sleeping with your boy is crazy work, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if she pop up pregnant next week, she not gonna know which one of y'all to follow. You feel me? Like, if you, because if you got this kind of relationship, I'm telling you, this woman. Let's just finish the email, because now I feel like I'm just nagging you. You didn't call me to be judged, right? You didn't email me to be judged. You emailed me for my advice, but you haven't gotten to a question, by the way. Since the concert, my friend and I have only had one phone call. I mentioned a mutual friend was visiting from the U.S. and suggested we meet. He said he couldn't, and then randomly asked why I didn't sleep with his mistress in Dubai. I told him I'd never do that to him, and we dropped the subject. So now here's my question. Nigga, I think you fucking with some kind of mafia boss or something, right? I think you in some kind of criminal organization, and it's already, the hit's already out, nigga. I hope you can send me a follow-up email just so I know that somebody didn't whack you. So here's my question. Am I being pulled into some weird game between them? Yes! Yes, you are. Well, actually, that's interesting that you say that, because I thought my initial reaction is this is a game that she's playing. But you're saying, oh, is it a game that they're playing together? Woo! Boy, that's cold-blooded, nigga. That's a plot. That's a movie plot. Yeah. Is he sending her out there? Like, is he getting off on the fact that she's coming back to him marinated in your juices? What you mean, bro? He got 2 babies with his cousin. I mean, this motherfucker ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's people out there with them type of freakiness, because why she came and saw you because she was pissed at him, and then went and saw him the next day, and then went to her city to go to work. And then she hit you with the he could never know. Or he might just be trying to get you to be like, oh, I did fuck her. Like he asked you in a manner to make it seem like he was okay with it so he could try to catch her in a lie. You know, but either way, my nigga, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You need to stop playing this game. You need to block that girl on everything. Okay? You need to block that girl on everything. Stop meeting her. Stop fucking her, because you don't know what this is. Let me finish your email. Okay, am I being pulled into some weird game between them, or did she sleep with me just to get back at him? Do I tell my friend the truth or keep it to myself? My biggest concern is that during one of their frequent arguments, she might slip and expose the whole thing. She definitely will do that. For context, she's 41 and my friend and I are in our late 30s. We weren't drunk, weren't high. Oh, okay, damn. You just a piece of shit. Just adults making terrible decisions, I guess. Sorry for the long story. I'm a huge fan and I really respect you and the show. Yeah, man, I don't know. This is a whole complex mess right here. This is just a mess because, you know, it's not immoral all the way because he's already cheating on his wife with her. You know, but then at the same time, it's like, why he keep letting his side chick hang out with you? In Dubai, like you going to another country with my, I don't understand that. Why he would allow that if he wasn't cool with you smashing, right? And whether you should tell him the truth, that's a whole different thing because I don't know what kind of friend this is. Only you know the answer to that. You know, my advice would have been not to fuck with the bitch in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment, the time for you to be a good friend was when she was touching on you and flirting with you. That was the time to go pull your boy to the side and go, hey bro, your girl getting a little, you know what I mean? She biting, right? And my line's in the water. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're trying to backtrack and be a good, no. And maybe, here's the thing, nigga, is this a game you're playing with yourself? Do you get off on the wrongness of it? Because I can relate to that. Do you get off on this is so wrong, but we're so attracted to each other that we're throwing caution to the wind. Because that's hot to some people. I'm not saying me. But it is hot. It is hot. If you feel more attractive when somebody's breaking the rules to fuck you. You know? Maybe you got some kind of danger fetish, nigga. You know? But I'm not sure, man. And I hate to leave you with really a non-answer, but I don't know what your relationship is with this man. I don't know what he might do if he finds out you're smashing his side chick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if your friendship can be repaired after that because, like I said, what you should have done was approach him right when the chick was flirting with you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And found out what it is. Because he probably wouldn't even gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably would have been like, oh, yeah, go ahead and hit. You feel me? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what kind of relationship you have with that friend. But your friendship will never be the same anyway. You've already betrayed him. You've betrayed his trust, is what I'm saying. You betrayed your friend's trust, and you can't go back to when you were trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that it sounds like that's what you want. You want to go back to thinking of yourself as a solid dude, but you're not solid. You know what I mean? And what you want now is a clear conscience. But I don't know, man. Like you said, where y'all from, shit different. Marrying your cousin is not normal where I'm from, or anywhere near where. Well, it's a joke we make about people in the South, but it really isn't acceptable. You know, it's not like a thing that you could mention in the conversation and everybody would just keep like act like you didn't say it, like keep it put to the next. People, whoa, wait, what was that thing you said? Cousins, like the cousin would stop the whole conversation. Is what I'm trying to say. Out here. So maybe you know, friendship's different out there too. You know, maybe y'all take bros over hoes to a whole other level. You know, but that's literally what this situation is. This is a bros over hoes situation. You know, and so maybe the best thing for you to do is come clean. Maybe that's what he waiting for. She probably already told him. But what you can't do is let her tell him. You know, because I think that might be. Because then he's betrayed by both of y'all. Then he feels betrayed by both of you. If you tell him, you know, I don't know, man. It would be hard to tell him the truth without telling him another lie, right? Because he's gonna be like, well, why didn't you tell me? And then you're gonna have to lie again. You know, because you don't have an answer to that question. I mean, you didn't tell him because she told you that he could never find out. Right now, I don't know what she told you he'd do to her if he found out. But you gotta tell you, fuck, I don't know. Look, I think you either gotta tell him or you gotta stop or you gotta just cut everybody off. Fuck, I don't know if that's good advice either. Somebody help me. Somebody from the audience please help this man. But listen, I tell you what you do though. You absolutely gotta stop fucking this woman. Yes. I know that for sure. If I could leave you with any advice, like you gotta stop fucking with this woman for sure, because she is here to fuck lives up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One of them is playing games, and the other one is. I mean, either she's playing games, or they're playing games, or he's playing games, or he's sincere and you're betraying your friend. Right? And none of those are good. You know? All right, next one. Howdy. How long do you think is an appropriate amount of time after a 10-year toxic marriage to date or get with someone else? May not want to read the next part on air. Okay. Man, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation before. I've never been in a relationship that lasted that long. 10-year marriage is wow. But see, I would think if you in a 10-year toxic marriage, I would think you already got somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like you already got somebody. I mean, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what the time limit is. You know. I think that's one of them things where like you'll know when you know, because a lot of divorced people the longer they've been married, they talk about how like they don't even know how to be single. You know what I mean? The best way I ever heard it described, and I forget whose joke this is. I don't even know if it was a joke, but it was just like the best way I heard it described was like that, like marriage, that being single is like being outside of a party, being outside of a house where there's a party going on and you can see everybody fucking having fun through the windows and blah blah blah, and you can't get in the party. And being married is like being stuck in a party that you ready to leave, but you can't find your coat. You know what I mean? And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. I've never had to make that transition because I don't think I've ever integrated my life that deeply with someone. I mean, I've moved in with people and stuff like that, but that usually reveals the compatibility or lack thereof pretty quickly. You know, So I've never gotten to the point where my finances were intermingled, and shit like that, where it's like where you start getting complacent and I wouldn't even know how to readjust to how to be like not institutionalized, like how to get out of that, because I'm not even sure. But hopefully somebody that's listening has been through the same thing and they can help you out with that. Okay. This is gonna be the last one. We still have some. If you email the pod, I'm gonna get to you. Oh yeah. Well, first of all, this says, "Happy birthday, Devil Dog." Oh yeah, 250th birthday, Marine Corps. Hoorah! Hi Brian, big fan here and fellow Devil Dog. Just celebrated the 250th with a training unit out in Georgia, and it got me reflecting on my path. Prior Navy, now Marine. Always feels good to remember where we came from. My family is doing something a little wild for Thanksgiving this year. My sisters want all the siblings to present a mini vision board life update PowerPoint to the whole family. So these are definitely white people. Kind of goofy, kind of wholesome, yep. But a good chance to pass on some lessons to the next generation. Okay, so your sisters want all the siblings to present a mini vision board life update PowerPoint to the whole family. Okay, wow. Here's where I'd love your perspective. I grew up with 5 uncles, all served across different branches and eras. Not one of them recommended the military when I graduated high school in 2004. I ended up joining anyway after trying to put myself through community college while working 2 jobs, eventually crashing in the back corner of someone's garage and almost getting kicked out of that. I had a moment with God where I told him if I ever end up homeless, I'll sign up, and I did, mostly for the benefits and a shot at school. It was the best decision I've ever made. So my question to you, what's your favorite memory from the Corps? The one you'll never forget no matter how many years pass. And would you ever recommend service to your nieces or nephews today, knowing what you know now? What would you want the next generation to understand about military service that the average civilian misses? Okay. And then there's more. Gaming corner. I ditched Call of Duty completely. Games turned into Fortnite with a nicotine addiction and jumped into Battlefield for the first time, loving it. Been slowly dragging my longtime COD squad over to BF6. I'm also considering the Switch 2 based on how much praise you've had from Nintendo. I haven't touched them since the original Smash Bros. Couple quick ones. You still rocking the Switch as your primary travel device? Yes. Have you messed with the MSI Claw 7 or 8 yet? No. Curious if it's worth the hype compared to Steam Deck or Switch 2. It probably isn't. Steam Deck is top of the pile. Switch 2 is top of the pile. Appreciate your comedy, your perspective, and how you talk about the Corps with honesty and humor. Simplify and keep it tight, Beaver Puss. Smart. Okay, so back to your main question. My best memory from the Corps. Man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Probably my first mess night in the fleet, and I was captain of the mess. So I forget what you call them, but I was in charge of the mess. I was president of the mess. That was probably that night was my best memory. Maybe I don't know, nigga. Probably, you know what? No, maybe the Crucible in boot camp. Maybe because I remember that feeling of like my drill instructors like actually acting like human beings, and like I don't know if it's different now, but they'd like flip a switch, and they get real human with you. And when you've crossed that motherfucking finish line, man, listen, that feeling was incredible. Oh man, there's a lot of good memories, man. Would I recommend service to my nieces and nephews? Not all of them. Because there's some of them that I don't think they got the right temperament. You feel me? Not the Marine Corps. Because that's the thing. Is like, I don't know what the other branches are like. You know? I really don't. Because I think the Marine Corps is unique in the experience. But yeah, if they didn't have shit else going on, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, then I think the military is the best place for you because you're allowed to, like, you're not just being stagnant while you're trying to figure shit out. You'll acquire some skills. You'll make some, like, you'll get a lot of the same things you get out of a college experience instead of just being stagnant. Because I have so many friends that they're like, oh, I'm gonna take a gap year, and then they don't ever go to school. You know, or they just spend, or you, like I told you a lot of times, like when I left home, whenever I would come home, it was like when my plane took off, I hit pause, and then when it landed, I pressed play, and everybody was always doing the same shit they was doing before. You know, no progress. So it's like, I think if you really are aimless and lacking direction, what better place to be than the military? At worst, you know, what's most likely going to happen, even if you're not a rock star in the military, is you're going to get out with, you know, education benefits and medical for life. You know what I mean? And you're probably going to learn a couple of life skills, you know, a little discipline, how to deal with corporate America, all of that shit. So if you're aimless, the Marine Corps will give you a motherfucking direction to go in. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of the kids are, you know, if you have a plan, and that's the other thing. If you have a plan with your life, then maybe the military isn't for you. But if you don't have a plan, the Marine Corps will at least give you time to make a plan, right? It'll definitely let you know what you don't want. You know, because you'll figure out pretty quickly whether you want to stay in the military, because that's not always a bad option. I know people that, you know, they're retiring now. If I'd stayed in, I'd have retired 3 years ago. You know, and been getting that retirement pension for the rest of your life. You get your highest pay for the rest of your life. You know, and that's not nothing to shake a stick at right there. It is probably all type of other benefits and stuff, but for some people, that's the way to go. Some people get in there, they're like, oh, that free college looks nice. Now, I've gotten out, I've seen the world, I've experienced things. I have interests now beyond whatever my parents try to push on me, and I want to go get a degree in that. And now it's cheaper to get a degree because I was served. You know what I mean? Or I don't know shit. I know my attitude is fuck the Marine Corps, and I get out with no plan and I end up homeless. Oh, guess what? There's homeless benefits because I'm a veteran. You know what I mean? And that's just all selfish reasons. There's also like the altruistic shit of like, I'm serving my country and blah, 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 blah. Right? So for some people, that's a motivation. But yeah, nieces and nephews, yeah, I would recommend some of them go, but you know, not all of them. Man, I don't know. Maybe the ones, like I said, the ones that don't have a plan, I would tell them to go. I would make my kids go. If you didn't know what the fuck you was doing with your life, you gonna get the fuck up out of here. You know, you about to go learn. You gonna have to grow up now, right the fuck now. You know, because I think we're past the time where when kids are 18, you can just put them out the house, because you really can't survive on minimum wage. You know, you can't just go get a job and get an apartment. You know, I mean, at least not always, not everybody right away. What would I want the next generation to understand about military service that the average civilian misses? Oh yeah, it's that part. It's that part. Yeah, the military is for the aimless or for the very patriotic, and that's it. You know what I want them to understand? Everybody in the military is not a conservative. That's something that people are always shocked that I'm a liberal when they find out I'm a Marine, or they shocked that I'm a Marine when they've known me to be liberal my whole life. But right, and it's like, yeah, but that's not something I would say if you were like, what's one thing? I think I would just tell people that the Marine Corps, it reveals, it doesn't transform. You know, some people are fucking pussies and they think they're gonna join the Marine Corps and it's gonna make them not a pussy, and that's not true. You're just gonna be a pussy with training. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you're gonna have the balls to do anything with that training. I can't tell you how many fucking punk ass motherfuckers I met in the Marine Corps that were, you know, so it's not going to turn you into something that you're not. It's going to reveal some ingredients that are deep down in you that you might didn't know were there. But if it ain't in you, it ain't in you, right? for some people it's on you, but it's not into you. It's not inside you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take off that uniform when you butt naked, you're not really like that. You know what I'm saying? And it'll show you. It'll answer them questions for you. If you questionable, it's gonna answer them questions for you. All right. I hope that answered your questions. I kind of skipped some because I saw the happy birthday to the Marine Corps, and that's today. So, let me do one more, the one I was going to skip. Specifically, California traffic. Unfortunately, California does not have a passing lane law, which is why you'll see motorists in the passing lane. Even at 0 dark 30, most of those drivers don't give a shit about anyone else on the road or just don't care. Hold on, California doesn't have a passing lane law? Really? Are you sure? Go to a supermarket and watch the people who block aisles with their carts or don't get out of the way as you approach. Those are the shitty drivers in the left lane. Now, see, I agree with that. The way you see people move through the world, that's also how they drive. Completely inconsiderate. Right? Completely unashamed. Because those are the people that really irritate me. Because I can give you a pass. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you're just oblivious. You got shit on your mind. You didn't realize you were blocking the lane. You didn't realize it. But when you do, you should feel appropriately ashamed. Oh, fuck that. I'm the guy now. That's how your reaction should be. That it shouldn't be, well, fuck you. You know, you fucked up. Just apologize or move on or take accountability. But yeah, the left lane cruisers are killing me. Because when I first moved to Texas, I loved driving here on the highways because it's so open sometimes. But you can get up the damn. Like it's not unusual. Like if I just drove from here to Dallas. The first time I drove to Dallas, I went 100 the whole way. You know, like if you catch it on a good night with the right Texans on the road, driving out here on the highways is fantastic. But every now and then, you'll get a motherfucker that's... I had somebody on my way back from Dallas, I had somebody cut in front of me into the passing lane and then match the speed of the person they just was trying to go. So I thought they were trying to go around the person in front of them, but they got in my lane and just went the same speed as that person. And that's what I mean. You know, it's like, what they call it, a Mormon roadblock? There's some name for that. But my point is, I think most people are just oblivious. Most people are not malicious. They're just oblivious. They're just not considering their effect on the world around them. They're completely self-consumed. It's called a Mormon roadblock. Yeah. But yeah, agreed, sir. Agreed. You love the pod, and I love you for that. There's a few more emails. If you sent me an email and I didn't get to yours, I promise I will address it next week. Don't forget, any questions, comments, concerns, you want advice from the advice champ, email me at BSwithBrianSimpson, BSwithBrianSimpson@gmail.com. Want to come see me on the road? BrianSimpsonComedy.com. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that shit. I'll see y'all next week.